Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all some time because I know these notifications ain't go out. Just wanted to do a quick check-in, y'all. I know it's late for some of y'all, but just wanted to do a quick little check-in, brief little conversation about some things. First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Sunday. Well, it's already Monday morning now on this Eastern. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their weekend. Hopefully everybody was able to get out and do what was necessary for themselves, for their families. For those that were celebrating birthdays this weekend, hopefully you had another year, another blessing, and hopefully y'all was able to enjoy yourself. And if you was able to have a blessed birthday and good spirits and good health, give your praises where it's due. Didi, baby. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation Friday morning. I know it was kind of early, but nonetheless, still was a great conversation nonetheless. And I still plan on tackling that topic. It's gonna be a part two to that. James, what's going on, my guy? See coffee cups up in the chat, man. Yeah, I had to do this little check-in real quick though. But appreciate everybody that tuned in Friday. Appreciate everybody that caught the replay. And it definitely was a great conversation. And like I said, I will be having a part two to that. And I'm gonna have the link drop. Chrissy, baby. But yeah, for those that missed Friday's conversation, go catch the replay. I know before I go left, get myself together. I ain't gonna be too crazy on this, but I just want to give a nice little reaction to something. Now, for those who are parents, right? The one thing y'all should remember, even as parents and guardians, is that when you are rearing and raising children, the main thing for them is to be themselves. But you also are supposed to instill certain responsibilities and certain standards into them. And it doesn't happen overnight. It should really start when they're young. So, and this is the thing. For some of y'all that get mad because your children are not working or because your children are not bringing in some sort of income, especially if they just graduated high school, it's bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's sad to see that they really are parents and guardians out there like that. You haven't taught this child nothing about work ethic, responsibilities, or anything for that notion, but you expect them to bring in the income or to start taking care of certain things that you as an adult should be taking care of yourself. It's not saying that children shouldn't help you or can't help you, but what do you expect them to do when, again, you just graduated high school? And then something that could have actually been beneficial if it was done right could have actually brought some extra income into the house. But instead, you would try to embarrass your child and say the most vile things, especially when they on a live stream. Now, I know some people, they think streaming and doing all of these platforming it's not really, it's not help. It's not financial help, but it is. It might not be the financial help you think it is, but it can be lucrative if done right. We've seen over the course of time people who have decided to use social media and they banked off of it. Didn't matter what age they was. You know, if they determine on doing something and if they feel like it's going to be beneficial, then let them do so. Realist, what's going on? My bad, y'all. I'm in the zone again. Let me make sure I ain't miss nobody. But yeah, you know, my thing all in all is for some people, streaming actually does bring in some sort of lucrative thing for them. And you can't get upset when they just starting to get off the ground. My thing is, again, child just graduated high school. What do you really expect the 18-year-old to do financially when they either never had a summer job or they've never had anything to show them how to really start getting on the ball when it comes down to making money? But my thing all in all with some of y'all parents is, how the hell do y'all think it's cool to try to live off your kids' expectations of life? Your kids are going to be their own person when they get older. You know, the goal is to teach them certain things when they're young. So yeah, they do have some form of independence, but also on the same token, they know where to put, you know, they know where to put the most important things at when need be. See, it's not like children ain't gonna help their parents when they get into a certain position, but you can't also force them into that position when you never gave them nothing or a blueprint at all. You know, like, how could you want to kick your child out when they just graduated high school? And again, you sat there and embarrassed them online while they was finally starting to get, you know, a little traction. Because guess what? Streaming is not going to be lucrative and successful right away, but it can be with time, with patience, with dedication. It can be done, especially if that's the route they trying to go. Because in some cases, some people might actually be marketable to where they will get those how you say it, those endorsements, or start getting these little brand deals and stuff. But it takes time. Give me 1 second, y'all. But you know, my thing is, how do you sit here and say the most vile things to your child? That's another thing. It seems like some of y'all think that you're supposed to be inspiring and motivating them. And in all actuality, some of y'all frustrating them. Some of y'all putting way too many high expectations and goals on them. When again, they just are new to the world as far as young adulthood. Like I said, if they not already established as far as working, if they ain't already have something lined up from Jump Street, you can't expect them to just start paying bills and doing certain things that they ain't accustomed to doing yet. You still got to give them time. And that's all I'm saying. It's like some of y'all don't care. Some of y'all show that it's just about money, reputation, and just trying to be a notable person. Yeah, my child did this, my child did that. It's like, again, you living off of your child. You ain't doing for yourself. See, this is why some of y'all don't reap the benefits when it comes down to your children's successes, because look what you're doing. Anytime you could talk to your child like they are the next person in the streets, like you got an issue with, what does that really say? How can you say, again, you love your children and those are your pride and joys? And just like I said the other day, y'all claim that y'all want to talk about investments, but your children are your investments. And you're supposed to keep your investments safe. When your children don't feel safe at all, not even to come talk to you, that's a problem. See, I could use me again for an example, because while being the guardian for my younger brother, There wasn't not one thing he wasn't going to come to me and talk to me about because I'm not a hard person to talk to. I don't care what mood I'm in. Not a hard person to talk to. And that's the thing. Some of y'all, you expect way too much out of your children. In some cases, just expecting the bare minimum ain't enough for y'all. Again, you had the nerve to call him useless, call him like a 40-year-old virgin because he want to play games. But if this is something that he's doing right now that could be lucrative, then could possibly start, bringing some income in, not just for you, but mostly for him to be established at some point. How could you hate that? Why would you not even want to be a part of it? Come on that live stream, you embarrass them, even kick them out the house. All for God to bless them way better than you did as a parent. And I'm sorry, but when you do certain things, those things could have a mental effect or a mental toll on your children at some point. You wonder why some people, their kids don't even want to be bothered with them at all. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. Like I said the other day, we always like to talk about deadbeat fathers, but we don't talk about deadbeat mothers as much. Because trust me, there's a lot more of them than you think. And it shows. It might not show out in public, but it shows behind closed doors. So the fact that you could sit here and think to do that to, again, a child, that's problematic. And no sooner than that shit happen, guess what happens? That young man gained, I think, $20,000, if I'm not mistaken, all in cash from people who either donated or people who was just trying to find out, if he was good. Like I said, when you do certain things to your children, the higher power ain't blessing you for that shit. And you gonna get your karma when it's all said and done. It makes no sense that you could sit here and say you love your children. You will go all out for them. There's nothing in the world you want to do for them. But then in that same breath, some of y'all are blatantly disrespecting them. Like they either the child's father or you disrespecting them like they the next person in the street you got an issue with. Anytime you could think to call your child a bitch ass nigga and all this other stuff, what the fuck is wrong with you? Excuse my language, y'all, but I'm about to go in for a little bit. But what the hell is wrong with you? See, again, the way you speak to them, the way you treat them, it'll come back. Because if you treating them all fucked up and foul, guess what? That karma comes back to you. Or it comes back around in a full circle that you wasn't expecting. Now, see, the thing that pissed me off is that you embarrassed him on the live stream. You was packing up his stuff. You actually kicked him out the house. And you thought because of that, like that was just gonna be, it's over. For y'all that got that mindset to think it's cool to do that, I'm telling you, karma comes back. And that karma came back good because that young brother ended up getting not just that 20,000, like I said. The boy ended up getting a couple of endorsements and even some extra help just in case of anything. See, when you do certain things and you're not part of trying to build structure and help build that child up, you miss out on all of his glory. But some of y'all be so money hungry that you don't care. And again, it's like you living through your child. In some cases, some of y'all ladies, y'all want y'all, how they call it, son husbands. Like you can't have them as both. So I gotta figure this out. Because in the long run, guess what? Nobody wins. When you're sitting here and you giving out the wrong type of info, when you're sitting here and all of a sudden you think the money is more important than making sure your child is good overall, that's a problem. You do know when you do certain things that could be traumatic to them, it lives with them. It stays with them. Then what? Some of y'all, not gonna lie, your poisonous mindsets, it's a problem. Because again, you shouldn't expect oh so much from a child. It's like you expecting that child to take care of you like a man would be taking care of you, or how you should be taking care of yourself. I remember it was another video I seen with, lady was in the car with her son, and same thing. It's like, these young ones is trying to get into the streaming platforms. They trying to make something happen. And instead of y'all trying to support it, y'all want to bash it. Y'all want to sit here and just blatantly disrespect them. Like, and again, when you have that level of disrespect towards your child, it says enough about you, because it shows you really don't love your child like you say you do, because that love is unconditional. If you see your child is trying and is trying to build for something better, you're supposed to try to help harness that situation. So this way it can be beneficial. But shoot, again, some of y'all be expecting way too much and don't want to put in the necessary work all the time. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all expect all the benefits without actually doing the work. Those that just tuned in, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. But again, you got to be out your rabbit ass mind to think that you could blatantly disrespect your child a certain way and they supposed to just live with that. No, there's consequences behind that. Real consequences. Now, again, there's ways to try to encourage people without making them feel like they less than. And some of y'all really do that. I've seen this. How do you expect your child to have a decent balance? How do you expect your child overall to, blossom and grow in the best light when you shown them nothing but darkness? The one thing you never supposed to do is try to shatter a child's dreams, even when they young. Now, it's a difference when you just giving them a real reality on something. But there are certain things that you just don't downplay, especially if they are serious about it, especially if they are making it worth something. Like, again, some of y'all live, or you're trying to live a certain life through your children's, and it's unhealthy. Like, prime example, it's one thing to encourage your child to do sports if that's what they really interested in doing. Yeah, and pushing them to some limits because you want to make sure that they keep that work ethic, that they actually are, being consistent with what they need to do. But it's another thing when, again, you are trying your damnedest to push them into something that they really don't want. And again, if it's something that they know they not interested in, or something that they feel they just don't want to do, you don't force it. And again, you got to let them figure out their own path of life when they start getting older. The most you can do is give them knowledge, wisdom, and guidance. But whatever they decide to do when they do get a certain age, that's on them. And you can't get mad because if your child is still doing something that's actually beneficial, it's not illegal, it ain't putting them in no real serious harm or danger, what's there not to love? Like some of y'all want your children to play sports. But what if your children actually had a passion for, medical science? What if your child actually had a passion for coaching, teaching, something along those lines? How can you get upset with that? They at least still putting their best foot forward. It might not be what you want them to do, but at least they're doing something that they're happy with. They're doing something that they know at some point will be beneficial. And it could be beneficial not just on the monetary gain. There's a lot of blessings that come through when people are doing what they actually love to do. Nah, it's a whole fact, man. And that's the thing. You want your children to have high self-esteem and not just confidence. You want them to have high self-esteem about themselves. And that's something that a lot of y'all, it seems like you're not trying to even teach when it comes to that. See, again, some parents expect their children to follow in their footsteps, even if they was successful in these fields of play, right? You expect your children to follow in the same footsteps. But again, what if your child ain't built for that? Not every person is meant to be a business mogul. Not everybody is meant to work in business to begin with. You know, again, it has to be something that they love to do and that they know they can actually be consistent on and stay consistent on. Some people are good with their hands, but they rather be at the lower level than to be at the top. I mean, like, let's be real. Again, they got to live their life the way they see fit when they start getting to that age. But if every time they decide to do something that they know could be good and you just keep putting it down, guess what? You are destroying a foundation. You are destroying that esteem that they had. And then now at some point, they're gonna have to do certain things to gain confidence. But when you confident in yourself, when you have high self-esteem, you're confident all day, every day. And you don't have to go above and beyond just to shine. But again, it's sad when some of y'all really talk to your children like they pieces of shit. Excuse my language, y'all, but that's exactly what you get. Fuck just internet shit, because I see this on the streets every other day. The parents that's supposed to be the loving ones on paper, the loving ones to everybody in the damn community, but they ain't really shit. Because the way you treat your kids, the way you talk to your kids, it says enough about you. If you claim you want your children to be their best, you want them to be better than you, then teach them that. But you ain't teaching them nothing when you blatantly disrespecting them and talking to them like they worthless or like they was a mistake. I'm sorry, but that mindset for some of y'all, and it's not just again women, it's men too. Y'all want to live y'all lives through your kids. You want your kids to be something successful so you can start reaping off of them. Sorry, but the world don't work like that. If anything, you're supposed to be making sure your children are building something for their future. Whatever you didn't get a chance to do or whatever you think you could have done and you didn't do it, that's on you. You got to live with that. But again, when you try to force things on them that they really don't want to do or they're not comfortable doing, then what does that say about you? You ain't thinking about them. You're only thinking about yourself. And for some of y'all, it's time for y'all to stop thinking about yourselves. And again, it's sad because let's be real. This is two situations in particular where young men are trying to get into these streaming platforms. They trying to build something lucrative, or they trying to just do something that's beneficial all around the board. And instead of y'all mothers supporting them, you putting them down. Now, the one person that was doing his little streaming thing, difference is he did have a job. But my thing is, how can you get mad about him not helping out with certain things if it's a part-time job? And that's why I be saying, y'all be expecting your children to be either your husbands or your wives when it comes down to financial situations. You supposed to already be established as an adult, paying your own bills and doing whatever. You raise your children to a certain age, and once your children get into these successful spots, if everything was loving and caring like it is, guess what? Your children are they're gonna definitely look out for you. You will reap the benefits the right way. But when you just thinking that it's entitled, that you should just have it, no, you gonna find out the hard way. Like, we can use a prime example of where some people would even get upset. Even some people in the quote unquote sisterhood got upset about the situation. Like, some of y'all already know the situation with Lawrence Fishburne and his mother, right? But when that man told everything that happened, and they still try to be on the mother's side of things. How can you be on the mother's side of things when that man he thought was his father wasn't his actual father? And then you kind of like kept the father out of his life. This is why I be saying, like, it goes to different levels. See, that's a prime example of somebody who just said, once I'm where I need to be at, I don't care how anybody thinks of it, how anybody feels. I'm not going to sit here and support somebody that didn't support me. Or I'm not going to sit here and support something that basically had a troubling effect in my life to a degree. So people got upset. How can you get upset when, again, when you sit here and you do certain things to your children, and then it's not like it's a one-time thing. That's just like you lying to your children throughout life about who they father is. How could you wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror? So you expect somebody who was with a whole different person, that person abused him, right? And then you expect him to still be charitable and look out for somebody that basically had a traumatic effect in his life. And that could have even went worse. Imagine if the crash out would have been when he was younger. Imagine if he didn't have that outlet to actually do something. We wouldn't even be speaking about him today, 9 out of 10. That's what I'm saying. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. Some people like to play the front out in the public like they the best of parents, but trust me, there's a lot of things you don't know. BMF, what's going on, son? I ain't cranky. Oh yeah, I am cranky. James, lock the door. I told this boy to come in here with my damn scratch off tickets. You ain't coming in with them yet. All right, BMF. Got strike one tonight. Strike damn one. Exactly. Where them tickets at? Lock that damn door, man. No, but that's all I'm saying. Like, some of y'all don't realize what y'all do to your sons and your daughters when you sitting there crushing every little dream or every little expectation that they are trying to meet. And not to be funny, you can't fully put high expectations on somebody who, again, is just getting out of school. That would be like you, soon as your child graduates junior high, you already expecting them to get a job, pay some rent, pay this and pay that, knowing that they ain't gonna be working but so many hours. Like, come on. Like I said, some of y'all have too much high expectations. It's either you want them to be your children or you want them to be your significant other. But it can't be both. Sorry to say it that way. Because y'all expect too much financial backing and then y'all not even being a part of their growth to begin with. All right, BMF, I'm telling you, I better see $5 up in here, son. Don't play with me, son. Being light skinned today, son. I'm telling you. But you just gotta think about it. Again, when you don't show the love, the compassion, and when you're not trying to set the blueprint the right way for them, it could be it could be detrimental. Because guess what? You are tearing down their self-esteem, but you're also tearing down whatever confidence that they do have. And it's unfair again. Selena, baby. I mean, it's just like I said. That's just like for some of y'all, you calling your daughters sluts, right? At some point, what you think gonna happen? They gonna actually think that, especially when they're young. You gotta be mindful of how you talk to these kids, man. You wonder why some of them ain't respecting them now, or respecting the older folks now. Look how some of the older folks is treating the younger folks now. Come on now. You mean to tell me it's all right for you to curse at your child like they really nothing? It's all right for that, right? Somebody let me know when I said something wrong. Because the last I checked, you supposed to uplift your child the best way possible. Yeah, you got to give them some tough love at times. Yeah, you might have to have them uncomfortable talks here and there, but it's necessary. You want your child to grow. You want your child to grow with the right type of mindset and the right type of ingenuity. Then again, you gotta speak life into them, and that's the problem there. It's not enough people speaking life into their children. If anything, they speaking destruction and everything outside of success. Like I was just saying the other day during a live stream, it's getting to a point where, again, parents, and I mean both mothers and fathers, are important to really start getting together. If you ain't got nothing that would be grounds for y'all not to get back together as a family and work things out, get back together for the benefit of your kids. Because again, it does take two. I don't care. It takes two. Because again, some of these children are lacking stability, accountability, they lacking morals, discipline, things of that nature. That's why I asked the question the other day. Do y'all only, and I asked that question to some of the ladies, especially the ones that I see or ones that I hear out and about. Do y'all only just breed women? With some of the stuff y'all say, especially about men, and the way y'all talk foul about them. You have sons, right? You got young sons, you got young nephews, young cousins that are males. So are you basically saying they not shit neither, or they not gonna be shit neither? Think before y'all speak sometimes. Fellas, sometimes y'all gotta start putting y'all foot down on certain things. Don't be scared to hold people accountable when necessary. Hammer, baby. That's the thing. Like, prime example. You just said the right thing, Selena, because I was getting ready to go there. Where you think a lot of them children learn things from? The adults. How many times I done been on a live stream, y'all done heard me spazzing out on adults while I'm on the job? And these are adults that have kids. Prime example. If you only teaching your children how to steal to survive, that's what your children gonna ever learn or ever know. If you're not teaching them anything that's of good merit, don't expect good things from them right off the rip. You know, in some cases, guess what? Some parents are actually teaching their children responsibility as far as work, saving money, and doing the necessary things, not just about bills, but teaching them how to actually save, invest, you know, and try to work on things. That's the goal, right? Making sure that your family tree and your lineage continues to keep everything prosperous for the family. But when it's not official blueprint or not an official one for them, some of these families ain't gonna really thrive off of nothing. I'm sorry, they not. Just Jay, baby. Who else popped up in here? My bad, y'all. My bad. But come on now. See, regardless to what, we when you are speaking negative, when you are doing negative things to the ones you say you love the most, the children, you fucking up. Like I said the other day in the live, I had somebody get uptight with me because I didn't pass their child a blunt. Why would I pass them, son, and they still not old enough to even buy a pack of cigarettes? Like, don't you get mad all you want to? I could care less. I don't care how long I know it. Shoot, it don't hurt me. I'm not going to continue a cycle. That's one thing I always try to avoid. I ain't perfect, but it's just certain things I would never do around children, or certain things I won't even think to do around the teens. I got to get the hell away from it. And matter of fact, I'm from that old school era. Ain't no young ones over here. Y'all better go on and get straight up. Yeah, Selena, and that's the thing. Like, people don't understand that shit. That's another thing too, Hammer. That's the truth. I just spoke that the other day. The problem with some of y'all try to literally be friends with your children. That shit don't work out. Because again, when there's no respect being given all around the board, what do you expect? You're not respecting your children if you sitting there calling them trash. You're not respecting your children or loving your children when you could sit there and call them failures in life, or you're basically making them feel useless. It's crazy, man. Nah, BMF, you already know what it is, man. But yeah, it's just like I'm saying, you know, some people just again lack common sense. The thing overall is, if I want my child to be something great, if I want my child to at least, you know, be the best individual in life, especially for their own, if they decide to have their own family when they get older, then I have to set the blueprint from the beginning. That means even when they in their little baby steps of walking, you're supposed to teach them the right from the wrong, the good from the bad, right? But you also, again, supposed to have a balance. Now, yeah, sometimes the children will make you pull your hair out a little bit, but hey, it's a repeated process when it comes to that. Because shoot, everybody that hit their teen stages at some point, you know, yeah, they gave their parents hell. I don't care what you thought. Even if you was the goody two shoes, at some point you gave your parents either a scare or gave them a little bit of stress. But that's the whole beauty of it anyway. You no matter how stressed out you're gonna get, this is life. Because remember, you could be teaching the best at home, but when they get out in the world around them, it's a whole different story. I've seen people who come from the best backgrounds and decide to do whatever just because they decide to hang with the wrong type of crowds. You want your children to be their own individuals. You want them to be their own leaders of life. You don't always want them following certain things, you know. Truth, baby. No doubt, BMF. Yo, hold up, James, lock the door. How BMF bringing food and ain't bring nothing for nobody up in here? See, we tired of this. You done came in here with a scratch off ticket, and now you done came in here with food wasn't going to offer nobody nothing. Lock the door. But you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's no way. Like again, some of y'all can say, "Oh, I love my children." But then behind closed doors, some of y'all talking crazy to them. Like some of y'all be thinking they on the phone talking to the adult. No, they talking to their child like that. I heard one parent call her child a piece of shit, and I just looked at her like that. Like my jaw dropped just by itself. Like, wait, what? The fuck you mean ain't a piece of shit? They came from you. So what so what does that say then? I just had to walk away because I almost intervened and said something really harsh. And I wouldn't have gave a fuck. It could have been a dude saying that shit, and I would have still said the same thing. Like, the fuck is wrong? They a piece of shit, they coming from you then. How about that one? Like, this is what I'm saying. Y'all, some of y'all don't give a damn how y'all speak to these children. Y'all don't care how y'all speak to your teens. And then you wonder why a lot of them don't give a damn now, or why they ain't trying to listen to the actual people who actually are for the people. There ain't no way in the hell I'm supposed to hear a child telling a whole grown up that's twice their age SMD. That's what I be saying. Do some of y'all really think before y'all speak? Do some of y'all think before y'all just do things? Because again, if you not, there's going to be consequences and repercussions to that for real. Guess what? Treating your child like shit. Don't get mad when you get older and nobody is left to really take care of you outside of them. They don't take care of you. The fuck out of here. Y'all don't deserve it. You get your karma one way or another. Don't gotta be right away. But I think that really is sad. Again, that there's a lot of y'all out there who honestly y'all need parenting courses because there's no way you can say you could talk to your child any old type of way, or you do them any old type of way, and they supposed to still bless you in return. For the parent that kicked their child out during a live stream, don't try to don't try to make amends after your child is already, you know, getting up on their feet and doing everything they need to. Because that shit can sail. Again, and I've seen this even on certain live streams. Some of y'all be disrespecting your kids to the fullest. It's unfair. I know Hammer, and I, healing prayers, and just try to get you some rest. Like I said, if anytime you already know when the link is pinned, you already know Hammer, you can pop in. I know you going through it, but we still here. But yeah, overall, again, some of the things you say and do to these children, it can affect them at some point in life. And that shit might actually stick with them throughout adulthood. So you're basically continuing a cycle of negativity and destruction. You want to uplift your child to his fullest potential so they can actually be something. But they ain't gonna never be nothing, or they might not get close to greatness as they think they can if every time you turn around, there's too many unrealistic high expectations. That's something you gotta think about. Hold on one second. Look at you. Look at you. Uber delivery about to be up out of here. But that's all you gotta think about. You know, when you say and do certain things and it crushes them, What you expect is gonna happen? If you keep telling them they ain't gonna be nothing, at some point, that's exactly what can end up happening. They ain't gonna end up being nothing. But who's gonna be to blame for that one? Exactly. Again, breathe life into them. And if you want them to be at least on a financial gains of things and teaching them responsibilities, you should teach them that when they're younger. Not wait until you done took care of them damn near the whole time frame, and then now all of a sudden you expecting them to just pull money out their asshole. It don't work like that. Really don't. And again, I think that's the saddest thing when some of y'all just expect your children to be almost like your husbands or your wives. You want them to take care of certain things way before their time. See, that's the most poisonous and the most toxic thing is that, again, when you trying to live your life or you trying to live what you was trying to do through your children in the most toxic way manner, yeah, you putting them in the trick bag. Sorry. Because the goal is to make sure your children learn morals, principles, responsibilities, but also making sure that they become greater human beings. If you teaching your children how to just be rude and disrespectful all the time, that's exactly what's going to end up happening. Your child ain't going to have no respect for nobody. And some of y'all, again, be talking to your children like they your friends, or you talking to them like they the next person you got a problem with. I'm sorry, because again, we don't speak enough about the deadbeat parents. We only speak about one specific group of deadbeat parents. I consider anybody that's not doing not just the bare minimum. I consider anybody that's not trying to help their children reach the highest potentials and do it organically a deadbeat. Anybody that's not really taking responsibility for their children and what they doing, their actions, holding them accountable when they messing up, y'all deadbeats. When you don't even care if your child comes home, you're a deadbeat. Give or take. You are a deadbeat nonetheless. If you actually shown that you don't care about your child, and this is again on both ends, you're a complete deadbeat. And guess what? When they make it, or when they finally do make it to some form of great, strives of success, some of y'all will try to come back around like you've been there. Don't come around now because now they successful. You wasn't a part of helping them be successful to begin with. Come on now. See, people hate to hear truth. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you what the hell I'm gonna tell you. You might not like what I'm saying. You might not like the fact I'm the one that's saying it, but you can't refute that. What I'm saying. Your children learn from the original teachers, which is you. And when you ain't teaching your children anything, or prime example, if your children can't read past a certain grade level, you definitely are a deadbeat. I'm sorry. If you're not trying to get your child help when you know the child need help, like child got a speech impediment, the child possibly could be deaf or whatever the case is, and you just ignore that shit, you're a deadbeat. Anytime you can allow your child to suffer mentally, physically, or even spiritually, you are a deadbeat. And I kid you not. It's the saddest thing because, again, in some cases, you never know what some of these people can end up being. But because their life is so traumatic, and because the people around them just continue to make it traumatic. This is why you're getting some of the things you're getting now. Emotional young adults and emotional young teens out here doing whatever and saying whatever. Because again, when you got people who are sitting here and just allowing it, people ain't holding them accountable, this is what you're going to get. Letitia, baby. You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy because, again, I ain't been MIA, Letitia. Well, kind of. Not fully, but I did one Friday morning. I just been going random. Yeah, I know. But you know, it's sad because you know you want the best for them, right? So if you say you want the best for them, then show them the best. You know, let them know that it's okay to fail. That's the thing. Some of y'all think that your children are not supposed to fail in life. Everybody fails in life. It's what you learn from that failure that makes you greater. Your child could have failed the project. Guess what? That child could redo it again. This time with more help, more information. But again, when you're not giving them the best outcomes, or you're not basically showing them the greatest blueprints to the success, how could you expect so much out of it? See, again, some of y'all be quick to try to kick your children out the minute they do get a certain age, but you do realize like you kicking them out with nothing. Now, I'm not saying there are some kids that do deserve to get kicked out, especially if they not following protocol. And I know parents like that. You think it's a game? Watch this. You'll be up out of here. And for good reason. Not saying some people don't deserve to get the boot, especially again when you're not doing what's necessary. And especially when you've been given opportunity after opportunity to do right. But then you're gonna have some people that are doing that just because, oh, the minute your child didn't complete this, or the minute your child didn't do something you wanted them to do, now all of a sudden, it's, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. See, again, your child don't have nothing, especially when they just graduated high school. So what do you really expect them to do? And even if they do have something, right? Even if they do got a little part-time gig, or let's say if they do got a little job, if they ain't getting but part-time hours, what the fuck do you expect them to do? There's only so much you could do when you know your check probably gonna be less than $300 every week, maybe 400, depending. Again, if you're getting on part-time hours. So what else do you expect? Is after taxes, guess what? Still ain't coming really much with nothing. It's like y'all want y'all children to be roommates. Y'all want your children to be significant others. Y'all expect them to take care of things that only adults are supposed to be taking care of. Just because they might have hit 18, they still are a teen by law. They still a teen. They just a young adult now. Now, when they 21 and over, yeah. I say 20 and over because you're no longer a teen after 19. So, you know, if you haven't been instilling the blueprints in them to begin with, don't expect too much out of them in the long run. But again, I'm from an era where parents and grandparents were doing the utmost to make sure that the younger generation was not just being held accountable and being held responsible, but they also was again, giving us the blueprint on how to be better human beings, teaching us about respect, courtesy, discipline, things along that nature. Showing us the right way to do things, especially if it was going to be beneficial in the long run. This is why it's important for parents to bond with their children. Guardians too, bond with the people that you are sitting here taking care of. See, like again, when I was a guardian for my brother, that shoot, it is no bond that's stronger than a brother's bond, because guess what? That's my blood right there. Even my other brother on my father's side, that's blood right there. Nothing I wouldn't do for them. And I know it's vice versa, because again, that bond and that rapport is there. When they younger, they like to be, that's the thing with younger kids too. You got to keep their mind stimulated. Even like with some adults, they say they like to be stimulated. They need that. Yeah, they need to be mentally stimulated. So yeah, taking them out, taking them out to the museums, or taking them out to good events, or just overall having family time with them. It opens up. It opens up everything. Because again, what's missing from now that we had back in the day is again that family meeting, that family time. It wasn't just about interventions. It was literally, we sat down at the table, didn't have no technology around, and we actually had civil conversations in the family. That shit ain't like that no more. 9 out of 10, kids ain't getting something from outside all the time. If they are getting home cooked food, they just grabbing whatever's in there and going to their room. Like I said, that part of the bond between children and parents is missing. Nowadays, the parents want to be, again, friends with the kids. And it's one thing when you want to be a part of certain, things that your children are involved in. That's all good. Again, that's showing them that, again, you support them and that you want the best for them. But then there's some of y'all that's doing things that you know for a fact is going to have a negative outcome behind that. Like, for prime example, there's some of y'all women that want to do these dances with your children or do these dances with your daughters, but are you really seeing the type of message that you're giving out there? When you got mother and daughter twerking together, that shit ain't cute. Because at a certain age, as a parent, there's certain things that you should be cutting out. Like I said, some people don't mentally mature past a certain age, and I'm starting to see that even more and more as I've gotten older. And that's the thing. When you are trying to build a bond with your child, you want your child to be the best that they possibly can be. Y'all bond and y'all communication has to be strong. Again, when your child don't feel comfortable coming and talk to you, they can go and talk to somebody else. That's a problem. Your children are supposed to be able to come to you, no matter what the situation. But then again, this is why it's important for y'all to start having family dinners again, and not just on a Sunday, and not just on a special occasion like a family reunion or something. No, y'all should really sit down, even if it's once out the week. Sit down at the dinner table amongst your family, cut off all devices, and actually have conversation. But I think in some cases, some people can't do that. Not without technology in their hand. They can't have a good conversation without something in their hand. You can't look somebody in the face and have a conversation in the show. You know, I ain't messing with you, realist. But I'm just saying it's crazy because again, that's just like I was saying the other day. Dude, I had to tell a whole dude about himself. I said, wait a minute. You planned on doing something, right? And the sad part about it is you got your son and your daughter with you. If you would have got locked up, who got your kids? Like that's what I'm saying. Y'all would even do that, put y'all kids and put yourselves in danger just to do something stupid and idiotic. I'm sorry. At some age, you gotta grow up mentally. There's certain things you're just not gonna be able to do and think, oh, you're gonna get away scot free. Not when there's cameras on your ass too, sucker. Sorry to tell you, it's true. Nah, you know what? It's not even just social media era, realist. It's not. Because when you go outside around you and see some of the things you see now, some of this shit was already going on before social media became a thing. But it impacted it more. It spread like wildfire. Like prime example, some of y'all want so much damn attention. Y'all would even go to the extent of embarrassing your own children just for a little bit of clout. You do know when you do those type of things again, karma comes back. When you treating your child and talking to your child like shit in front of relatives, in front of friends, in front of people in general outside, even at a damn function, they remember that shit. And in some cases, that'll be they fuel to do better, get more successful, and then just break away. Some people wonder why. Yeah, my child don't do this and my child don't do that. Yeah, well, what did you do for your child to do anything for you? Like what I just said about the Lawrence Fishburne situation. Everybody was trying to get on the mother's side about things, but she was completely in the wrong. You had another man raising another man's kid, and then you kept that man away purposely. Your child got abused, your child went through enough, and if your child didn't have that acting outlet, who's to say what would have happened? What story would they have gotten from him? Some of y'all do realize when you just have too many people around your children, or when you have the wrong type of person around your children, things can happen. And again, causing mental trauma. Chill, will baby. But nah, you gotta think about it. Prime example, you got the wrong man or the wrong woman around your children, and they on that other type of time. And then if you really not putting your foot down or doing your investigation, who knows how long these type of crimes could be happening to your child, and you don't give a damn. Some of y'all don't give a damn because guess what? Y'all be so fiended out just to be with somebody, but y'all don't even think to say, let me make sure this person is safe all around the board. Let me make sure this person is not going to be a danger or a threat to me nor mine. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like prime example, one night I think I was on a live stream with y'all, I believe. Again, you got grown-ups and younger folks out here twerking and doing everything up under the sun, not caring that there's other people with children out here, other people out here with other family members, young and old. No old people want to be seeing y'all shaking y'all ass all day. That's what y'all got to do. Y'all ain't got nothing else to offer outside of shaking ass. Come on now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It in some cases, eh, we get what we get in society because look, look at the background. Like again, anytime you could think to have your children out way past a certain time when they should be in the house, this is what you're instilling in them. It makes no sense to be real. No way you gonna tell me as a parent, I got a child that's not even 14, and my child is still hanging out past 3 in the morning. I don't care if it is summertime. You ain't working, you ain't doing nothing responsible for you to be out this late. Only thing you looking for is trouble. You ain't in here by a certain time, you'll find out the hard way. I'm from that era. Fucked around and find out. Oh, you didn't come back in here by this time? Yeah, you can sit out here for a little bit. And you better hope it wasn't no you staying out for the whole night. Literally sitting outside your door all night. You know? But again, that was a way how some older folks was holding young folks accountable. Even when it come down to respecting rules and regulations. What happened to curfews? Like, this is what I'm saying. What happened to the big things that basically kept an order between parent and child? That shit is out the window now. And I'm sorry, but I'm raw and uncut. I'm just gonna get it the way it is. Like I said, when you got mothers and daughters that are out here doing the same exact things, that's a problem. That was just like the video I was telling y'all about when the lady was sitting at a house party. I don't care if you was outside on the patio, you shaking your ass and not even realizing there's a whole child behind you just staring at you. You enticing the wrong things. Again, what messages are y'all trying to send? Yeah, some of y'all have to be airy, even in public, and what you say and what you do out here. Because again, it's not that you can't live your life the way you see fit as an adult. Nobody's saying that. But again, you know, you have to be mindful, especially when you do got children out and about. It's just like if you know your children out and about and they could be somewhere where you at. Even though they ain't supposed to be in adult business, if they come over here, they might see you, they might have to ask you for something, or they might whatever. Once they go about their business, and you go back to doing what you're doing. I'm from that era. We didn't know too much of what the parents nor the grandparents do. Shit, you still even had the OGs doing what they were doing. We never knew it. Why? Because again, they knew when to put everything to the side. Oh shit, kids coming. Yo, son, hold that down. Same way how some of y'all would sit here and oh shit, cops coming, cops coming. Gotta do that shit when the fucking parents and the grandparents just oh yeah, wait, hold on. Wait, shit. They coming. They coming. Same thing they was doing with us. Oh shit, the kids come. Yo, put that down. Yo, Billy, put that down, son. Put that down. Hey, you had to. Come on now, man. And again, even when they thought they knew something, or even when we thought we knew something, what was their main thing? Mind your business. Don't worry about that. Ain't you supposed to be doing something? Ain't no kids over here. No, nowadays you got kids being in adults' business. They even trying to be part of whatever little drama and situation. It's like, yo, like there's no, it seems like there's no compass no more. No moral compass no more. And it definitely ain't no boundaries and regulations. Again, y'all trying to be friends with them. Shit crazy. Facts, chill, Will. You already know. That is crazy. Prince Daniel, what's going on, my guy? Who else popped up in here? My bad, y'all. No, when I be zoning out, I gotta make sure I kept everybody. But truth though, your children are only gonna know the things they know from you. So if you're not having these talks with them, prime example, even the most uncomfortable of talks, you're dropping the ball. That's just like I said the other day. Some of y'all not even paying attention to your sons or your daughters out here. We all was teenagers. We already know hormones being a damn air, yo. We know this. But in the same token, if you ain't having these talks with them and teaching them how to be responsible, even if something does occur, you teaching them the bare facts. Look, I can't, whatever, but if this is what you decide to do, be safe. Like, it's simple things like that. You gotta have these talks with them, even the most uncomfortable. Because again, that's basically how you're gonna teach them what they need to know for adulthood. Like again, teaching them responsibility, teaching them about working, saving money, trying to invest when you can invest. taking care of what's needed to be taken care of, but also teaching them that, again, you live your life accordingly and you do what's right for you. And never mind what everybody else thinks. If you doing something that's right, you doing something that feels right, and you doing something that's reaping the benefits, and not just money wise, but just reaping the spiritual benefits, spiritual karma, all of that. Man, listen, better leave that shit alone. Leave it alone. And that's the thing. Some people, it's not just about dreaming. Some people actually want to make things become a reality. But it's hard for them to do so when they don't have the right type of support. They getting kicked in from every angle, even when it does come to family. Again, it's supposed to be bonding with your family. It's supposed to be close knit. Some families are close knit, and the reason why is because, again, that's just like you being with one of your cousins throughout the damn summer, every summer. You the honorary family in there, but you know you family regardless. You ain't here every day, but nigga, but you here. So you already know the same rules and regulations that apply for us going to you. We don't care. We from that era. I don't know what's going on now, but it's just crazy. Like I said, you know, it's it's really becoming a troubling time now. And it's sad on so many levels because, again, how do you expect your child to be successful? How do you expect your child to be a better individual when you ain't showing them how to be a better individual? You just showing them nothing outside of the box. You just showing them how to survive. It's more than just showing them how to survive. Showing them how to wisen up and, take the necessary steps so you can continue to keep having those same blessings in life. Teaching your children about consistency. Once you've gotten something that you know you can deal with, you be consistent. You do what's necessary. You work and you build. So a lot of things that should be taught or should have never been out of the mix like how it is now. Y'all cry about old traditions being old, but those old traditions actually did a lot. It didn't just do the bare minimum. It did a lot. So I think about that. Some of us probably wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for those traditions. Teaching your kids morals and respect, teaching them how to be dedicated and how to be loyal to something, especially when it's a good cause, definitely a good one. But again, some of y'all need to be careful in how you treat your children and just be careful of the things that you present around them. And you do fail to realize that you are still their number one teacher. They gonna be coming to you more than anything. When there's no love, no compassion, no protection, no uplifting, no none of that, you can't expect your child to be something great or even feel great about themselves. And why kill your child's self-esteem and kill his confidence as well too? It's unfair. Show them everything outside the box. Got to cultivate their minds and talking to them all sorts of ways and treating them all sorts of ways, or even just neglecting them completely. The deadbeat mind state. And to be quite honest, it's unfair because you are just going to continue that same cycle of destruction, and there's never going to be no real success. And if there is, they probably gonna have to go through the worst of traumas before they get there. But that's neither here or there. The whole point of tonight really was just quick little conversation and check-in. Like I said, I know I've been MIA to some degree. I've been popping up here and there. I know everybody been doing what they had to do. Same thing over here. So, but yeah, I just had to come give a late night. I possibly could be giving an early morning one too. We'll see. But I just wanted to have this conversation overall because let's be real. For some of y'all ladies out there that are putting your children through the ringer, and some of you fellas too, because there's some of y'all out there doing the same thing, pushing either your sons or your daughters for things that they not really interested in, or it's things that they know they not good at, and you trying to force it on them. Can't keep doing that. Can't live your life through your children. You can't expect your children to be paying bills and doing things like adults when they just barely even got into young adulthood. Again, you do what's necessary because, again, the benefits come back when it's all said and done. But it got to be done the right way. If you don't see that tearing apart their self-esteem and knocking down everything that they are trying to do, or something that they really are solid at doing, by telling them they can't, or telling them that they not, or telling them that they will never be, if they keep hearing that, and if they keep feeling that, guess what? It really will be nothing. Or might not be nothing that you want them to be. But some of them might end up still being something. That is the catch-22. Because you got people who don't give a damn about their children, their well-being, or none of that. But their children have actually made successes out of themselves. Like I said, this conversation is about to start going in depth. So, and I'm back on a consistent basis. You already know what time it is. And appreciate you for dropping those links, James. And appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Yeah, for those that need to, yeah, hit that backup channel too. Don't be light skinned. Still trying to get up to that 100. Like I said, I'm gonna start probably doing something on that channel as well too. So you already know. Just wanted to have this little quick chop up, and I'll most likely have another convo. It could be in the morning, or it could be the early afternoon. If it is another night, you'll know. You'll know. But I'm gonna definitely have the link pinned. So you already know. I definitely want everybody's view and opinion on that. So, but again, for those celebrating birthdays today and the rest of this week, may y'all have another year and another blessing around the sun. Enjoy every moment of life. And if you was able to see another year in good health and good spirits, give your praises where it's due. Also, healing prayers and condolences to those who have been supporting the channel who might have lost people recently. Definitely, healing prayers and condolences to your family, especially in this time of healing and grief. Try to keep your heads held high. And, again, remember, there are some things that are just always going to be out of our control. We can't help it. But we learn, we heal, we grow, and we got to keep moving forward. Matter of fact, I might finish up this conversation tomorrow. Because I'm definitely on it. Because from what I've seen this past week, like I said, I don't just talk about shit that going on this internet. I talk about shit that I see in the streets every day. I don't need the cam up to show you, and I don't need the cam up to do anything outside of. You hear the background and hear somebody outside. But again, this conversation going to get continued because, again, from what I've seen this week, it really is atrocious. And no, this is not judgment. This is just overall overall optic view of what I've been seeing, and it's starting to get classless now. You want your children to be greater, but in the same token, you teach them how to be nothing other than. And then we wonder why, again, we get looked at funny. But that's another conversation. But again, make sure y'all hit that backup channel. And y'all definitely, we going to be back on it. Like I said, life been life, but nonetheless, still a blessing to be above and not behind a cell neither. So overall, though, I could be doing something early tomorrow. Y'all see a notification, y'all know what time it is. Yeah, if not, y'all already know how to check for somebody live stream. Don't act light skinned. Don't be Drake light skinned, son. I'm on some Pusha T time right now. We gonna get these real in-depth conversations. It's about to be a surgical fold soon, so yeah, you gotta dissect everything. But overall, appreciate everybody that rocked out. Y'all already know what time it is. Hopefully, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all mornings, afternoons. Yeah, I already know it's almost Tuesday on the other side of the world. I still need my lottery numbers for tomorrow today, damn it. I need my lucky numbers. So hopefully y'all enjoyed y'all weekend and be prepared and blessed for a great week. And I'll definitely be back later on. And y'all already know, if y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. And for everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I'm going to do is give you real. That's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. And again, appreciate everybody that's becoming a part of the build and still becoming a part of the build. Conversations are necessary. Until we at least reach the glass ceiling, they going to keep coming. So you already know. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings. Real spill, baby. Oh, sis, you late for church, baby. You know what? I ain't gonna let y'all go out like that. I forgot. I was supposed to do this to begin with. My bad, y'all. I forgot about y'all. I really forgot about y'all for a second. My bad. I was supposed to give y'all one of these. Appreciate you, sis. You already know. But yeah, we gonna definitely continue this conversation because we gotta get to a better place, y'all. And I'm sorry, but the way it's looking right now, y'all can't expect the children to be the future generations, the future doctors, lawyers, and everything else that's potential for our overall build in society. And y'all teaching them nothing outside of ratchet behavior. Sorry, but if we want better, we got to show them better. And that means, again, have to start with what's being presented to them. There's got to be a balance. And I think that's what keeps everything in line. Balance. In order. But like I said, I'll be back with the convo. But y'all stay safe. Keep the third eye open. Official, what's going on? I see y'all up in here coming in late to church. Coming in here late, y'all. Real, don't laugh. You know it's true. Like I just said earlier, no way you want to tell me mother and daughter out here twerking crazy. No way you want to tell me a father is teaching his son how to do certain things he ain't supposed to be teaching them. I'm sorry, like, and it goes on both angles. What are you teaching them? What are you teaching your nieces and your nephews? These things people gotta think about. Come on now. Nah, you good, official. Come on now, you good. Like I said, this is the first pop up in a minute. I did something Friday morning, but I think I'm gonna do something again tomorrow. But yeah, like I said, we need to have this convo. Because how we expect them to do better, and we ain't giving them the blueprint to do better. If you teaching your kids how to steal and how to scam, you ain't doing nothing outside of. You're only teaching them that survival is necessary. But sometimes just surviving could be a punishment in its own. But yeah, we'll dig deep into that. Yeah. But yeah, y'all stay safe. Y'all keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.